Welcome everybody, I hope you guys are having an awesome day and welcome to today's flight. Today we're going to do a full flight in the beautiful Fenix Airbus A320. Doing a full flight from Belfast, we're going to station right now, all the way down to Mallaga in Spain. The flight time of roughly 3 hours, going to fly as EasyJet 314. And okay, we're just now working the magics, let's go in the cockpit and let's get the flight going. Welcome to the aircraft, ready cold enough, let's go in the cockpit and here comes the cater, let's quickly move out of their way. Alright, welcome to the cockpit. Coats are already hanging there. Let's go and get the power up. So before we do that, be sure that the power levers are selected to the idle position, fuel switches are selected to the off position, flaps and slats are up and are down and up. Over a pan is good, so let's start with battery 1 and 2. And voltage 27, that's good. External power, connect. So, adhere 1, 2 and 3. Selected to navigation position. Evacuation selected to the captain. Let's select the oxygen crew to automatic. We'll do the fire test in a couple of seconds after the aircraft has initialized itself. Fuel pumps stay off until refueling is complete. Generators are at fault, which is correct. And for our packs and bleeds, they are selected to as automatic mode and APU bleed is off. Strobe light, logo light selected to on position. Seat belt smoking sign selected to the on position. Emergency light selected to the arm position, and the rest of our pan is good. Go now to the pedestal, select the transponder to the automatic mode, and select the 2000 because there is no ATC online. You can take the predictor weather system to automatic mode, and let's keep the weather radar off for now. And let's load in the flight plan. Alright, Belfast, Mallaga, and yes, so let's put you back and let's get the load sheet onto you. So, AOC menu, receive messages, get the load sheet in a couple of seconds. Go to the init page and request the flight plan. While we wait, let's do the fire test. So, fire test on engine number 1 is good. APU fire test good. And engine number 2 fire test is good. Catering is now complete, boarding will start very shortly. Going to fly as EasyJet. So 314. Let me just quickly get the, let's see what the fly at. Cost index is going to be 12, going to fly at flight level 350, and let me quickly go to temperature, which is going to be, I'm guessing, negative minus 56 degrees Celsius. Going over to the next page. Alright, so we have not received our load sheets. I believe something is not wrong here. My passenger number is correct. Why is the fuel at 3 tons? We are supposed to be 10 tons. Just going to re-import that from SimRiff. Press reset. Boarding requested. Let's try that again. So, route has been loaded in. Fuel. It's going to go instant. Alright, so fuel and everything else been loaded. Now that is complete. So zero fuel width is 61.0. Zero fuel width, center of gravity at 32.5. So 32.5. Block fuel 1. 0.0. Just reset the view. Alright, so taxi fuel, we're going to use 0.3. Route reserve, let's see, alternate, so let's start with the alternate or contingency fuel, 0.6. Alternate fuel 1.1, and final fuel of 1.1 as well. Winds, let's see, 194, that would be a headwind of roughly 0.5 knots, so not much. Alright, fuel production is complete. Let's go to the flight plan. Departure out of runway 07, and no SID, so let's just go straight out. Put you to the performance page. Right, so we are actually loading aircraft, which is good. Alright, so surface dry, obviously. Takeoff weight 70.7 tons, which is correct. Weather is also correct. Let's go intersection data. Let me just quickly bring out the airport map. Let's see, ground charts. No, I believe it is U. Alright, so departing 07 is here. Let's see if we can take... I'm just going to use the Navigraph charts on my web page, because it is a little bit more accurate. Alright, Delta is full length, so I believe we just use Delta. Oh, let's see. All that we will use flaps, so we will take from the runway. Let's have a little bit of time. Let's do that. And let's do the forced toga. Let's see. So 36, 42, 44. So 136, 142, 144. Flaps 1. Trim to down 0.3. Flex not needed. Takeoff shift 600 meters. Alright. Yes, I believe that is that. Let me just get the winds requested over at the same time. Alright, so we now have winds, and we are good on that page. So let's start the APU. And the fueling is complete, so let's just turn on the fuel pumps. For now, we will just have to wait a little bit. Boarding has now been completed. Let's get the aircraft ready for departure. So let's start with closing up the doors. APU power is connected. Let's disconnect the GPU and remove the chocks and cones. QNH 1028. Initial climb flight level 350. Constraints can be armed on both sides, and let's just close the cargo doors. All right. Pushing back to the right. So engine mode to ignition, parking brake select off. All right, starting engine number 1, starting the clock at the same time. All right, we have N2 on engine number 1. Right, and we have fuel. number 1 is available. Let's get engine number 2. So let's turn you on. Alright, let's turn up the volume on you. So parking brake set. Just select Unicom and guard frequency has been selected. Beacon light, forgot to turn that on. Alright, all wait, auto brake max can be armed, speed brakes can be armed as well. Alright, we are now on engine 2 has now started up. And number 2 is available, so engine mode back to normal, flap select 1 for departure. APU bleed can be disconnected. And APU can be turned off. Let's change it to the flight control page. So, full left, full right, full up, full down, red left, and rudder right. Flight control check, good and free, and there you are. Taxi light can come on. Flaps and speed brake selected, and we are ready for taxi. So parking brake off, thrust, carefully increase. And let me just quickly adjust FS Realistic Plus. Right, taking a right turn right here. Alright, so we are now taxiing parallel to runway 07 and 25, so we will taxi down on Lima, down to Charlie. Taking a right turn on runway 17, lining up via 17 on runway 07, and then toggle thrust, taking off, and then continue on to our destination from there. Now that the instrument panel is more visible. Alright, cabin is secure for takeoff. So flaps and speed brake selected, we can just arm you, not arm you, configure you. Alright, taxiing onto taxiway Charlie. Passing the cargo center. Alright, so transponder can come on. Let's check the strobe light to on position, extend the landing lights. Belfast traffic EC317 lining up runway 1, taxiing on runway 17 to line up runway 07. Alright. Wind is variable at 1 knot, so we shouldn't expect any thermal turbulence. Belfast traffic EC317 lining up runway 07 for immediate takeoff. Alright, so close it in. Let's start our turn. Alright, so any lights, take off, turn off light, wing, lights, check, thrust, take off, chrono, start on both sides. Eight knots. P1 and rotate. Pass the rate of climb. Gear up. Weather and terrain weather can come on. Alright, starting the right hand turn after departure. So, thrust to climb. Flaps up. Start to adjust the nose. Autopilot on. Heading 160. Direct to Lisboa. And insert. Climb mode is active. Increasing new. Alright, flaps to upstream brake is disarmed. We can turn off the nose light. Strobe light, logo light can come down for now, 3000 feet. Climb out is good for now. You can stop the chrono to 2 minutes 2 seconds on takeoff hour. That's not bad, that's within limits. For 4,500 feet, landing lights off and retracted. Yeah, flying EasyJet as well, so want to save some cash where we can. Alright, 5,000 feet. Nothing much more to add to Apple, so I will just stop talking and I'll talk to you guys when I'm sending it to Mallaga. 9,500 feet, aircraft is stable. Now descending into runway 13. Having some problems with our pressurization system because it's failure of flap, but it's okay right now, even though we are at negative 6,000 feet. So I believe that is a bug with the Fenix. But ignoring that, we are now inbound runway 13 onto land. Yes, I will cover it later. So we're coming in right here, going straight in for runway 13. Going to use a ILS approach. We're going to land manually. We are now 24 miles out of the runway. We're now going to descend to 5,000 feet. We're going to intersect altitude at 4,200 feet. Let's see, we're now at closing in 210 knots. Let's start with aircraft speed reduction. And let's see, auto brake low can be armed. And of course, landing lights and seatbelt sign select on. Alright, so we're now below the flap speed, so flap 1. Speed brakes can come down again. Right, so let's double check that our lift frequency is correct. So 109.5 is correct, of course, that it does automatically. Now descending to 5,000 feet. Sorry about that. So we have just passed below the 20 miles mark, so let's just arm the approach mode, because the next waypoint is going to be the capture of the ILS itself. 4,200 feet, have that armed. Let's try speed brakes again. Alright, we have the runway in sight. Alright, glide slope and localizer have both been captured. Alright. Inbound runway 13, or establishing the ILS. In case anything happen, we will just climb runway heading straight to 2,000 feet, and then we'll vector ourselves in. Most likely going to climb to 3,000 feet or 4,000 feet, fly out, and then follow the ATC in. Not ATC, but fly in via the airport, circle around, and then come in for approach attempt number 2. Speed brakes. Back down, speed 200 knots. Alright, for that 200 feet we will just keep that for now. And if anything happens, we'll go around, we have light winds, we might just come in for runway 31. If that is simpler. Alright, gear down. And approach is looking beautiful. Alright, speed to 180 knots. Alright, the altitude is not correct because we are flying over mountainous terrain. So, flaps 2. Alright, speed to 160 knots. So, speed brakes is arm, flaps is selected to, landing gear down, trigger green, auto brake is armed on low. We'll get the lights on because we are not going to get in the clearance because we are on Unicom frequency. 6 miles out. Beautiful approach as usual. Flaps 3. Alright, 5 miles out, flaps full. And I'm having Wi-Fi issues, that is extremely fun. Alright, so 3 miles out, speed to landing speed of 138 knots. Alright, 1000 feet, I have control. Light set, speed brakes set, selected flaps down to full, speed brakes arm, gear down, trigger green, we are go for landing. Alright, 500 feet, I am switching the view. Right, nose down.
100 above.
Check. 300 feet.
Minimum.
It's a bit windy coming in.
50, 40, 30. Retard.
Bit bumpy landing, but it was actually not that terrible. 288 feet per minute, that is what I call a good but firm landing. Alright, so we're now at passing 80 knots. I'll take auto brake, select off, flaps up, speed brake, can come back down. Nose light off, nose light to taxi, and let's get the rest of the lights going. So APU has now been started, transponder selected to the off position. Alright, let's taxi to gate 62, I believe, should be a fine gate for us to take. I do not request taxi. Alright, so we are now taxiing on Golf 5. I believe I have taken a wrong turn, but I will fix that. Alright, so we are, let's see, we are down at ramp 3, I believe. Taxiing straight over here and then taxi down and do a taxi back up again to our gates. Alright, landing system flight directors off on both sides. APU is running, let's give it a minute to before we start the bleed. Alright, we're now coming into Bravo. Let's just get on going to Lima and then taxi in but via Romeo 8. And then we should be on our stand. So, no, the ground crew doesn't get children with 4 eyes. We can turn off the taxi light because we are close to the apron and because we can actually see where we're going. And if you're wondering why the weather is shifting around a little bit, my internet is extremely slow and that's why it is freaking out as soon as you get the new weather, but it might be a little bit delayed. Alright, so we are now turning into our gate area. Gate 62 is going to be our parking stand. So it's the second closest to the tower. Okay, here we coming. So lights are off. APU bleed is on. Taking it slow. Alright, so let's try to get you going. It was a little bit early on my turn, so we're gonna overshoot it a little bit. Alright, 1 meter to go. Alright, so we can take parking brake on, APU is running, so engine 1 and 2 off. And let's go over the panel. So fuel pumps, all select off. APU bleed can stay as is, engine bleed can come off, and generator can stay as is. Seatbelt sign, select to the off position. Open up the engine page. Waiting for N2 to pop below 20. Below 20, beacon light select off. Open and request deboarding. Welcome to Mallaga, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this flight. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my channel page for more awesome videos, and if you want to binge watch more from me, check out my playlist on the screen right now, or check out my playlist link in the description. Other than that, I will see you in the next video. Fly well out, have an awesome day, and goodbye.